Hey guys, hey girls. Long time I didn't made a little live. It's gonna be a short one because it's 6:45 in France, and 6:45 is already quite late. So let's play 30 minutes, and then I will go home. I had a little idea of live because I was finishing that very bulky bunka, and the iron is just amazing on this one. It's beautiful. It's a lot of pattern. Don't know if I can show you that properly, but it's really cool. Okay, and because it's really cool, and it was end of the day, I was playing a little bit with my stones to get some of the best of it, showing details, having a nice polish. And while I was polishing, I had some experience of little feeling that are of course there for years, but sometimes you have little click, and sometimes you have little clicks days after days after days, and you don't really analyze, and then finally you succeed to analyze a little bit, and you make a summary of it, and then it's clear in your mind. So today I'm gonna talk about that, and this concept is blade, bevel. It's about polishing. It's about stone polishing, and the concept is about transition, blade, bevel, transition for polishing, and what it is about. When you're polishing on the stone is depending. It's sometimes a little bit soft, sometimes it's muddy, so it's quite soft actually. It really wear with the knife even more than the knife, of course, sometimes, and most oftenly it depends, but sometimes the steel wears faster than the stone because the stone is harder and the steel will be grinded, and sometimes it's the inverse. The stone is soft and it will wear much faster than the steel or the iron. When the stone is soft, generally you don't have all the feedback about your bevels. This is a big one. It's courtesy of Nader Ao Renge. Crazy stones. So yeah, when you use soft stone, they are beginner friendly. Why? Because you will have a stone that will wear generally much faster than your iron and your steel, and this helps because it will wear following the curve and the shape of your knife, and actually the stone will take a little bit of the shape of your knife, and then you will have a great contact, and you will feel that you will feel like it's perfectly normal. I'm just polishing and the stone slide, the knife slide on the stone, no problem. But something happened when you are thank you. I shave. I cut a little bit of my beard, so that's why my hair looks so nice. When you use a harder stone, it's a different game. You will use a harder stone because you want to show details, you want to show and clear the bevel. Soft stone, even the finest stones, they won't clear your bevel perfectly. Some of them will be close to it, but most of the time they will give a haze, and this haze give kasumi, give contrast, but it's sometimes a little bit unfortunate to have a very hazy finish on a bevel, on materials, on iron, which got things to show, which can maybe will look a little bit better with a little bit more clarity. And well, of course, this is for pure polishing reason, but if you're here, you are also loving that the knives cut, but also loving that the knives are beautiful, are showing the material, which is quite crazy, because this iron, which is full of details and banding. I'm trying to show you actually every time I try to find the perfect angle, but I need to change the light for the lives. It's perfect for walking, but it's really not good for the lives. So yeah, sometimes you have a great material. It is happening that it got a really good look, a lot of details, and giving just a hazy finish won't really the best for it. So you take a harder stone, a finer, harder stone, and this will give clarity. But now the stone is not wearing faster than your iron or your steel, or it will wear about the same fastness, or it will wear maybe faster, but still it won't take easily the shape of your knife, the shape of your bevel, to give a nice bed so the knife can slide. And what you will feel, I don't know if I can show you while I'm polishing, but what you can feel sometimes, and that's what I want to talk today, is little parts where the knife hurt a little bit. So maybe you will try at home with your knives and with your stones, and sometimes you will feel that the stone doesn't slide properly. Like for now it's okay, now it's okay, and here I got a little thing, and it's not something that will go. There is little thing that hurt the knife, that block a little bit the knife, and if it stopped the knife like that, it's because of the shape of the bevel. Salut. And that means a little bit of the transition. So that means that at this part, for example, my convexity is a little bit too much for this stone. It's a little bit too much, and then the stone will hurt this little convexity, and instead of sliding, it needs to pass through it, and it's hard for it. So what can you do for that? And I think I got a part of solution. First solution will be better shape of your bevel. It's terrible, but it's same every time. If you do a better work with the groundwork, and actually I think those days what I could improve in my work would be maybe the Nakato. I'm taking a lot of time with the 200 grit, 400 grit, 600 grit, and then after the 600 grit generally I go fast, because I've spent a lot of time to make the bevel proper and clean, and then I want to go fast. But if you take some time, because you are polishing knives sometimes, you could take a little bit more time with the 1K, with the 2K, even with the 3K, and those stones can work with the little details, like little bit of more smoothness in the bevel, in the transition. So first solution for your polishing would be to set a little bit better your work and your groundwork, your shape, and every time you see there is a little too much convexity, high spot, and you can see them because the stone, even some coarse stone or your 1K or 2K, try to use some harder stones within your softer stone. every time the bevels are a little bit more burnished and they look white on one spot, one line, this means that there is a little bit too much convexity for the stone. Sometimes you don't have really the choice because you have very strong taper, you have a lot of difference between this angle and this angle at the end. So to go from here to here, you have a short way and you have a lot of convexity, and you try to make it smooth way from A to Z, but you do your best and there is too much changings of angle and there will be too much convexity anyway. So sometimes you can't really save and get better everything, but most of the time you can do something. So every time you have a little bit more too much convexity, you can a little bit smoothen, grind a little bit more where there is too much material. And then there is a little bit of polishing skills, and polishing skills I learned it through the years, and I'm still learning, because if you take my history here about polishing knives, it's not like huge, it's 3 years, and for maybe 4 years, it was 2020, so a little bit more than 3 years. 3 years, and the first year I was doing my best getting the right shape, and most of the time I couldn't get a right shape because I didn't understand the geometry that was needed to make a nice good polish, and I was finished with fingerstones, which is perfectly okay, no problem, but that was not what I wanted to do. And maybe the second year was a little bit better. I was able to finish some knives with the stones, but mostly with the soft stones. And I would say since about a year, maybe more, I don't know, I can use hard stone, even very hard stone, and this is because my technique improved and I understanding, and I get better at my job, which is normal and reassuring. Okay, so let's take this one. This one is mid-hard. It's not too soft, not too hard. It's Hoira good stone, and I'm gonna show you that concept. We say bonsoir when it's night, but when everybody is still awake, we say bonsoir, and then when we go to bed, we say bonne nuit. So let's continue. You are polishing. My way of polishing is longitudinal. I like it because I think it looks good, and most of the time you will how you say that in English? You will trick the eyes like if there were no scratches. Because if you work with diagonal scratches, you can have a very fine polish at the end, but in the end your eyes will check about those scratches which are diagonal, which are not really in the same way of the knife. So you will see them. If you work longitudinal, actually you will trick the eyes, and you will not see the scratches as much. And that's why most knife makers, even when they sand the knives, they do longitudinal when they sand, because for the eyes it looks more logical. So what I was saying, so I'm working longitudinal, okay, and I'm gonna find back the spot which was a little bit too complex for the stone. Okay, it's here. It's here. For this one, it's almost not to be felt, but I can feel it. And what you can do for those difficult transitions would be, first, you can slow down. Most polisher, or actually me, because I didn't see most polisher in action, but I'm sure if I have done the mistakes, you are doing the mistakes. So, well, I guess. So first you should slow down. If you slow down, that means that when you will get to this, when I mean slow down, is less fast gesture, like this. Okay, it's very boring, but it's helping. And so when you reach this difficult place, the stone hit this difficult place, which is a little bit higher, which is a little bit more convex, but it hits this part slower. And going a little bit slower on this area, the stone can move around it and touch every part of it without hitting it too much. So this is first advice, slow down. And second advice is, one of the question of block is how much pressure for you do you put on the knife when polishing? And this is part of the trick too. When you are working with a stone that is preparing your bevel, you can put a lot of pressure, okay? And when I mean pressure is like down on the stone. You can put a lot of pressure, and if you need to go fast doing a strong kasumi and you want to make the stone to make slurry and you want to erase a big scratches on the hard steel, you can put a lot of pressure on here and you will force the stone, because it's more friable, it will wear more faster than the steel. You will help the stone to really grind that part until it erases the scratches. So you can put a lot of pressure here. But this is not really for polishing. It's more for heavy duty. Like, okay, you got this soft stone, you need to erase scratches, you can put a lot of pressure. But actually when you're reaching some harder stone, then you need to slow down and you need to lower the pressure. And even more, I would say you need to change a little bit the direction of the pressure. This is something I'm starting to learn. I don't know if it's properly said, and I'm gonna show you, and maybe you will have to comment and answer me about this. But most of the time, we are holding the knife here, okay? This is my position for polishing with precision. And then we put our two fingers on the bevel, and we're gonna put pressure vertically, okay? Well, let's say diagonally, like that. And you're gonna polish where your fingers are, putting a lot of pressure on that part of the knife where your fingers are. But when you're working on a hard stone, this is not your best friend, because every time you will hit a little bit more convexity, a higher spot, you will have a lot of pressure because of your fingers, and you will hit that spot super strongly, and then because the stone is hard and can't pass through the heel easily, well, it will scratch. It will scratch a little bit. Even if it's the finest stone on earth, it will scratch the blade, and you will, fuck your polish and go down. So if you don't want that to happen, I think your pressure should be actually put as much as possible longitudinally. Not diagonally toward the stone, but actually really along the bevel. And this is maybe low pressure, but it's about to apply the knife on the stone. And really, I don't know if you can see that, but it's making a contact. Never let the knife do a little bit his life, like he can move around. All is very controlled in the gesture and the contact, but the pressure is all horizontal. or the aim, maybe not the pressure, but the aim. When you think about it, when you want to polish this area, you're not putting pressure on vertically, but you are thinking horizontally to really make that knife slide on the stone, not pushing on the stone. Sliding the knife on the stone, and this will really help. Yeah, and these are maybe the most advice I wanted to tell you tonight. Make a better preparation, of course. Slow down, so don't. And also maybe we can talk about the how we say that, the gesture, strokes. Yeah, we can talk about the strokes, short strokes and longer strokes. You can't put super long strokes on the high part of the bevel. The longest, the down the bevel, there is the edge, and the edge is one line. Of course it's one line, it's straight. You will sharpen the knife until it's straight from both sides. It's not doing like that, it's straight. And this, you can do long strokes on the edge. It's easy. On the shinogi, it's a little bit different. It should be a line, of course, and that's why it moves a little bit down and high depending of the thickness of the knife. But there is a little bit convexity to it, and there is a bit of changing angles to it. So if you put long strokes when you are working on the iron and toward the shinogi, it will be wrong. That's why we go a little bit more gently. But if we work with two short strokes like this, maybe it's interesting sometimes with soft stones, because you will actually go from part to part a little bit more slowly because you do the shorter strokes. But on hard stone, again, I'm not sure I can advise that. I think on hard stone, if you do short strokes, actually, yes, you go slower from A to Z, but you go faster when you do the strokes. You move your blade faster because you do short strokes, so you are instead of okay? And because my advice is slow down, short strokes is a little bit too fast. So maybe you could try that instead of, okay? With the harder stone, try something slower and a little bit longer strokes, little bit. And this will also avoid little marks which become from the shorter strokes. And you will have a little bit more homogeneity, a little bit more, homogeneity, coherence. I would say in French, evenness. Okay, and this would be your movement. It's very slow, it's very controlled because you really try to make a good contact with the stone, and you don't let the knife move around and doing shitty things. You control the thing with a little bit like middle strokes and slow gesture, and when you hit some place hard, you go a little bit more slowly on it and you move around quietly. There is no need to go faster when you hurt something. It won't work. It won't change anything. The shape is like that. You have a little bit of convexity here. This fine, even this one, which is not that fine, won't change anything. So a finer, harder stone won't change anything. Okay, so it's 7:09. We got 6 minutes. If you have question, I'm here. And if you don't have question, I'm gonna finish that knife on this stone quickly with this stone, which is obviously beautiful and big, which will make a perfect Kasumi finish in a different way than soft stone can do. It will be a bright Kasumi with a little bit of semi-mirror finish. Okay, so I got the stone. I can surface the stone with 400 grit Atoma. It's a nice stone that open the stone. It won't scratch the stone. It doesn't look scratch, but it make a nice surface which will sharpen the knife quickly. Okay, you can see I clean my hands, clean the knife, clean the stone. And this is gonna be very boring because I'm gonna go slowly over the bevel, trying to reach parts of the bevel I want to reach so I can get an even color. But because some part of my bevel got some convexity and the shape is not like smoothness, 100% smoothness, it's maybe 80% of smoothness. So I'm gonna go slowly, and every time I feel the stone is stopping a little bit, it's or too flat or a little bit too convex, because when it's too flat, the two surfaces are also gluing together, like oop. Okay, so this can also happen when it's a little bit too flat. So if you have question, you can ask, because there is a lot of silence now. I can hear a little bit of a sound which is not nice to hear. I clean and I go back. And I can hear the stone is working. It's doing the polishing. There's nothing to grind actually. I don't want to sharpen the bevels. I want to polish them to give a color, to give a nice look to them. And this is not really made by grinding materials. It's more about how the stone have a contact with the steel and the iron, and this contact wearing steel and stone together will make a nice color of everything. So this could be a way to polish your knife. Slowly, surely. And it looks good. Let me dry. And I got more question maybe from Block. I'm gonna go down. What are good Kasumi stone options for people who can't spend a lot of money on Ginats? I don't know. I spent a lot of money on Ginats, so I'm really not the best. I'm really not the best to answer. You need to ask to people who don't spend money on Ginats, and so they found ways to have good stone to polish their knives. First, you can ask sellers of stones. There is common people, and don't buy what they show in the shop, for example, but you can send them an email and say, hello, I don't have a lot of money, my budget is 100 euros, 80 euros, do you have any garbage stone you would like to be okay to sell to me, or something like that? You can do something like that, and maybe it will work. And if not, there is synthetic stone, which are 80 euros, 60 euros, maybe something like that, and they can do the job. They will give a Kasumi sometimes, Mostly it will look a little bit weird because it doesn't look soft like the natural stone give. It looks very with a very clear mirror hard steel and a very dark muted iron. Hello, my Sheikh. What is your question about the lifespan of such stone? What is your question about? I mean, how long it will last? It will last many Milan. Many Milan. A lot of them. Shit, I wanted to show you. Okay? So this finish is brighter, so the light is a little bit more, it's harder for the light to show. Wait. I need to clean a little bit the camera maybe. Okay. Here we are. So we have even more details that show. Try to show. Sorry, it's not easy. I need maybe another camera or second camera. I don't. Wait, I'm gonna try the other side. Generally, it's much better. It also needs cleaning. Shitty light. Sorry for that. It's impossible to show you. Well, you have details, but you have a lot of too much light. Sorry. I try to, but it's not easy to show. But you can imagine that it's nice and reflective. I don't know if you see that, but you can see that the knife takes the light very well now. And when you go outside, it's even more beautiful. Sometimes I can show like that, and you can see there is a lot of reflection to the knife. Okay? Yeah, and this big boy is here, still here. Let's do the other side. We are 17 now, so we are late from 2 minutes. As always, talking too much. Let's do this side. So I put my fingers on the bevels, but I don't really put pressure on it actually. So here for example, I got also this effect of the stone a little bit sucking the blade, like it's hard to move. And for this I go slower and I try to understand the shape, and when I get an understanding of the shape, I can move a little bit slower on this part and find a way that the stone like and slide on it. Yes, of course. Question is, can you skip the ginats and go straight to fingerstones from synthetic stones? Of course, yes. And you can even skip stones and go to fingerstone straight. And you can even skip fingerstones and go stone powder straight. There is many ways to polish, and if you make any blade sanding, then polishing with polishing paste until it's very nice, like I don't know, 5K, 6K, very nice. You take fingerstones or stone powder and you will get the Kasumi finish, no problem. Karelian Birchstab is making advertising on my video. You should ask permission for that. Okay, and as you can see, it's much more quiet and much slower. Maybe you have seen me polishing and I was going a little bit fast. And as you can see, I'm changing slowly. When I use that sort of fine stone, I go much slower. You see, I can feel the stone, it's not going through sliding properly. So I need to find a way it likes, because if not, it will do that sort of trembling, and the knife is it's hitting a little bit. And when it happens, don't go faster or more pressure. Actually slow down. And if you want a brighter finish, because sometimes slowing down will make a little bit more dark finish on the iron, you can a little bit add water, low pressure, slide on the stone, and this will give brighter finish. What make hazy is the mud. What make brightness is the water and the contact with the stone. Yes, thank you. Nice skew. Little bit of spotty this side, little bit more even this way. I'm learning kurushi. It's not like that. And some maker learn it, find a way which was really working with for them, and they went sometimes fast learning and sometimes they went slow learning. I'm quite slow learning, but this year we can say that normally I should be good with the kurushi. I got some idea to make it perfect soon, but it will take some practice, test, and then I will find it. All right, it's beautiful. This iron is really crazy. Exactly, pressure is minimal, but I keep contact, which is not letting the knife do his life. He can't move the way he wants. It's really me guiding, and I want to touch there. I make the contact there, and I prefer to speak about contact than pressure. I put pressure. I put contact, not pressure. Sorry, it's 7-8 minutes late, so my brain is already stopped. Okay. So I will show you that knife end of the week. This one I'm super happy. This one is going hyper local. Most of my knives, I'm in France, south middle of France. Most of my knives are living far from me. They are going mostly in America and sometimes in other places. This one is going hyper local, because this one is for the restaurant which is in my village. It's 2 kilometers from here, because I'm not living in the village, and this one is staying right here close to me. And when I will go to the restaurant, having a nice meal with my girlfriend, for example, I will show the knife working in the kitchen. So that's something I really like. And I'm gonna stop here. So yeah, I will show you that knife next end of the week. And I hope everything I said was interesting. And again, as always, if you learned, if you test those and you have more questions or you think is crap, please comment so we can have a talk about it. Have a nice day. Bye bye.